wonderful schemes from nowhere made every hour sweet as a flower to me. And if you should go back to your nowhere, leaving me with a memory, I'll always wait for your return out of nowhere, hoping you'll bring your love to me. If you should go back to your nowhere, leaving me with a memory, I'll always wait for your return out of nowhere, hoping you'll bring your love to me. Hello and welcome. It is another episode of Sage's Anti-Ukulele Swing Radio Hour, and here's the ukulele, and there was the antique ukulele swing. We'll be here for, I don't know how long, half an hour? Usually half an hour. Welcome. Today is the 21st of January, 2026, and that means a few things for me in my personal life. One of them is that the very first iteration of my year-long songwriting mentorship is starting tomorrow. I'm looking for a place to put this ukulele. And I'm very excited about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And then it also means that a year ago yesterday was my 1-year anniversary of living in France. Congratulations to me and to the people of France. Okay. I want to talk about that songwriting mentorship. Okay, so it's starting tomorrow, Thursday, the 22nd of January, 2026. I'm feeling slightly ill. I'm going to talk about that later, but I just wanted to say that right now. Okay, the songwriting mentorship is starting tomorrow. It's a year long, all of 2026. I have talked about it a little bit on the podcast before, so you can, if you're interested in joining us, you still can. Even if you're watching this, I don't know, a week or two after the 22nd of January, 2026, send me an email, sage@ukuleleswingschool.com. And if you want to get in, you can still get in. We are starting tomorrow, but you can jump in a little bit late. What is time anyway? It's a year of me holding your hand through the whole process of writing your album. And I have 3 primary types of workshops that I will be giving. And I didn't pull them up to look at my notes. So let's see if I can remember what I wanted to say about them off the top of my head. The first type of workshop meeting is the songwriting workshop. I did not publish a podcast last week because I was giving 2 free songwriting workshops on Zoom. I offered those as live only free workshop situations. So I was pouring my creative energy into preparing those last week rather than recording a podcast. And so, yeah, what I want to give you in the mentorship is space to work on approaching your songwriting from different angles. And so that is what I aim to do within the songwriting workshop, is to basically give you different approaches and to give you assignments. And then you can work on your own songs from these new perspectives and get out of habits that you may have gotten into over time. And then the second type of meeting is a song Q&A session, which is basically like a coaching session, more or less. So that's where you can come to me with a song that you're working on, a problem that you're facing, something that you can't find a way out of, a lyric that you can't exactly state in the way that you want to, for example, or some kind of musical issue. How do I put the melody to the chords? How do I write a chord progression for this existing melody? That kind of thing. Come to me. We can work through it together, and you can take those ideas back to your song and work through writer's block, this type of thing. And then there's also a community component to the course as well. So I want to give a lot of space to work on performance as well. So bringing your songs to a sweet and supportive space and performing them and polishing them, and then really getting a feel for unveiling your true performance persona and really being yourself on stage, which can be so compelling. And then I also really want to provide you, over the course of the mentorship, with as much music theory knowledge as you need that will help you become more easeful in your songwriting process and work through various things. I can't believe I'm saying this. I love music theory. And I love using it as a tool to get myself out of certain situations that I need to get out of. I don't like using it as necessarily just a purely theoretical exercise. I like using it because it can help me in my music practice. And so what I want to give to you within the context of the program is the music theory tools that you need in order to help you with your songwriting practice. That's where it's a very utilitarian thing for me. I have like my favorite sets of things that I routinely go to because I think they're really helpful, and I want to share those with you. And then let's see. Yeah, other special workshop topics I want to sprinkle in throughout the songwriting mentorship year include building your set list, writing your set list with the mind of creating an emotional arc, a kind of story, a journey that you're taking your listeners on. And then there's like one other thing that I wanted to mention. Stage presence. Stage presence, which I already talked a little bit about. Basically finding your stage persona. And really getting into that. Okay, so if you're interested in joining us for the Songwriting Mentorship Program, there is still time, even though we start tomorrow. Email me, sage@ukuleleswingschool.com. I would love to hear from you. We can set up a call. I would love to hear more about your songwriting project. I would love to learn together throughout the course of a personal conversation how or if the program can help you meet your songwriting goals. And now, my 1-year anniversary in France. Yay, hooray. As of yesterday, I've been living in the north of France for 1 year. I moved here from Germany, where I lived for a couple years. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. And in my 1 year here in France, I have learned many, many things, some of which I will share with you today. One thing I have learned is that I love having healthcare. I got my whole healthcare situation together sort of at the last minute in November. I was slowly taking care of it over time, and then in November, all of the bureaucratic pieces came together, and they mailed me my little green card, my carte vitale, which is the card that you take into your medical appointments, and then they're paid for. And also into the pharmacy, and your medications are paid for. Wow. As someone from the US, this is crazy. So that's a big thing. The other thing the other thing is that in France, I learned this the hard way when I'm pretty sure that sound is coming through. I'm not sure what the sound is, but I do see it coming through on the monitors. It is I don't know what it is. Is it a vacuum cleaner? Are they sanding the floor? Maybe we'll never know. But I was really hoping that it just wouldn't come through, but I do think it is coming through, and I apologize for that. In France, I didn't know this until I had really annoyed the front desk person which I can't remember the word, and then instead of remembering the word, I heard that sound. That's how we got here. Receptionist is the word I was looking for. At the doctor's office, you're supposed to go to the pharmacist and pick up the medications that they will then use in your appointment. Because they don't have a pharmacy inside the clinician's office or something. I guess it makes sense, but it sort of doesn't make sense at the same time to me. I don't totally understand it as a system. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't totally make sense to me as a system. Here's what happened. I had a hand thing. I may still have a hand thing. So I had a little cyst aspirated. None of this really matters, but I showed up to the appointment and I hadn't gone to the pharmacy beforehand, and I had my prescription, and I just didn't. I'm a foreigner. I get myself in these situations very often where I just exist as a foreigner in a foreign land, and people are like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, well, I don't know. Please tell me what I'm supposed to do." I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I showed up, and she was working very hard, and then I thought maybe she would cancel my appointment, but no, I just went across the street to the pharmacy, had my papers and everything there. I paid for them. They handed the medications to me, and then I walked them back across the street in the little paper bag, and then I handed them to my doctor. Who then did the whole thing. And then the whole thing was only 60 euros, which so coming from the US, that's insanely inexpensive. And so today I was prepared. I had a gros examen for my eyes. A big exam for my eyes? What do you even call that in English? It's just where they dilate your eyes, which I guess they are getting smaller now. But I went to the pharmacy and they gave me all this drops, and then it was my responsibility to sit there in the waiting room and do my own eye dilation drops in the waiting room. I had never done that before. There's the prescription, and there's the three things I needed to pick up. The pharmacist collected them all for me, and then there I was in the waiting room, and it was one drop in each eye 30 minutes before the appointment, and then 15, and then 10. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And now I've just felt nauseated all day. Nauseated and looking stoned. But unfortunately not feeling stoned, just feeling nauseated. Okay, so in the past year I've learned that in France you are your own pharmacist at medical appointments. Not something I expected. The internet, so this is boring. I was poking around on Reddit. Because I moved here a year ago, I will have been with the same internet carrier for a year. They have introductory rates on internet carriers here, and then after a year your price goes up. So what people do is that they just switch every year. They just switch internet providers every year. And I don't understand. It's a reverse loyalty program. It's let's make sure that you don't use us anymore. It's just that doesn't totally make sense to me. Oh, I wanted to say something else about the bringing your own medications to the appointment. One reason it doesn't make sense to me is because I have all this leftover stuff now. If I wanted to feel like garbage again later, I could dilate my eyes again, because I have so much more eye dilation drop stuff left over. I won't. Also, all of the medications say respect the dose. Don't take more than you're supposed to. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, wouldn't it make sense for the person who's routinely dilating people's eyes to just like go to a cabinet full of stuff to dilate people's eyes and then like break off one little pipette or whatever of stuff? Because now I used one, but there's 4 more in the package, and like I'm just gonna throw them away. I don't understand it. It just seems wasteful. If they only gave me as much as I actually needed, then it would seem fine. But at this point, it seems wasteful to me. Anyway, who am I to be talking about wasteful? I come from the U.S. Things are incredibly the system. Anyway, I'm moving on now. I'm just looking at this list. I, of course, was writing this list feeling, because I'm just still feeling nauseated from this eye dilation thing. And I'm like, I'm sure there are interesting things. And now I'm looking at the list, and I'm like, I don't know that these are interesting. My opinions on milk have changed in the last year. I am a person who likes to put whole milk in their coffee. As a side note, you cannot get half and half here. It's not a thing. For my friends who are listening who are from Europe, half and half is a combination of half milk and half cream, and it is sold as its own thing in the US, and people often add it to coffee. It's fresh, it's delicious. And then when I moved here to Lille in the north of France, I have to go out of my way to go to like the grocery store that has fresh milk in the refrigerated section. Almost every, like there are a couple of the budget grocery stores like a Lidl and an Aldi, and they do not have milk in the refrigerator. They have the ultra high temperature pasteurized milk that's in the Tetra Paks that is not that is not kept cold. That's just in the like pantry section. You don't have to refrigerate it. And so like the ultra high temperature pasteurized milk tastes different than, I don't know what to call it, like the lower temperature pasteurized, the stuff that's sold in the refrigerated section and that must be kept refrigerated in order to maintain freshness. It tastes different. And so I really like noticed that difference a year ago and really like made it a point to go to the grocery stores that had the fresh milk. But like sometimes they don't have it. And this is another thing. This is a detour. This is a detour thing that I've noticed. And I'm also curious with all of the craziness that's happening in the US, since I haven't lived there since 2021, I'm wondering how much it's changed. And with like tariffs and stuff, if like supplies of ingredients are being interrupted. But basically, what I wanted to say is that like it feels unusual for me in my life to be in the position of like going to the grocery store and expecting something to be there and it not being there. And this kind of will routinely happen where it's like, oh, I ran out of peanut butter. I have the one store that has the peanut butter that I like. I'm going to go there. And then they don't have it for like a few weeks. And then I just like have to keep my eyes open. And then eventually it's there again. or or like with the non-ultra high temperature. Is that what UHT stands for, by the way? That's why I'm saying that. Ultra high temperature? Or is it something else? I mean the UHT milk. The non-UHT milk, like maybe they just don't have it. They ran out and it's gone. And then like, I don't know. I'm just used to like the shelves always being stocked. I feel like that's the American way, or at least the American way that I'm familiar with. My opinions on milk have changed. I got tired of going out of my way to go to this special grocery store. It's not that the grocery stores are so special, it's just the Carrefour, but I just like going to Lidl. So I started buying like the shelf-stable milk because it was convenient, and I was tired of making a special errand out of things. That's basically my immigrant experience, is that I got tired. And I wonder how many other immigrants from the US or from wherever can sympathize with that. I imagine many. I don't know. There's just so many little things that are difficult or go against the grain of the way that you're accustomed to living your life, and then after a while it's like I relinquish something. I have on my list, it is difficult to find jalapenos and cilantro. I will edit that and say that it is impossible to find a fresh jalapeno, which I guess makes sense. I just see them because they're from Mexico. Mexico is very far. There are avocados here, but I don't typically buy them because I don't want my heart to be broken, because much like an avocado that you purchase in the US, the window of ripeness is this wide. For those of you who are listening only, I'm just holding my fingers very, very closely together. But oftentimes they come from Peru. It just seems like that vegetable had to travel so far to get to me. Okay, I'm losing steam, y'all. It's impossible to find a fresh jalapeno. It's also it's difficult to find a spicy pepper that is green in color. You can find red ones, but I want to make pico de gallo. I want the green color in there. I'm still searching. You cannot find a fresh, spicy pepper at most ordinary grocery stores. You must go to an Asian grocery store, which is great. However, I do not live near one, so it feels like I have to go trek out to one, which I did recently, and it was beautiful. Because now I have chai spices, and I've been making chai the past few days, which I might do again, and hope that the ginger continues to settle my little stomach here. Okay. I want to mention a couple projects that I started recently here on this YouTube channel because I'm really excited about them, and I'm going to continue them. One is, I've been calling it the Sheet Music Strum Along. I'll invite you to check that out. There are a small handful of episodes. I basically am... The show is evolving. I may change the name. Please tell me if you have ideas for an improved name of the show, but the original concept is that we strum along with some music from a sheet that was published around 100 years ago. So especially music that was published and printed in the 1920s and 30s, tunes that became jazz standards. You get the idea. And fairly quickly, the show seems to be morphing into something else, which is like not necessarily just strum this along with me, but like what is that? How do I take this from the sheet to the way that I would perform it? And so I have a video in progress, which I will be sharing with you soon. The difficult thing for me with this series is that many of the keys that they have published the songs in don't work for me. I don't want to sing them in those keys. It's uncomfortable, and then I have to do something different in order to make it work. And so that is the challenge that I'm coming up against in developing this new like series of videos. So is there anything else I wanted to say? Set up a call with me if you're interested in joining the songwriting mentorship. I'll put a link down below. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.